So by jumping up here and leaving an unvisited location here, I can actually jump back here just ahead of the rebels and get one more jump kind of along their portal. Unfortunately, I did run into a rebel ship, but that happens regardless. And that's just something you got to deal with. So, since I've got Shonji manning my sensors, I can actually see the inside of their ship, and we see that they've got 3 dudes kind of roaming around here. If I ever get some different equipment up and running, then I'll be able to start boarding them or using very targeted methods of blowing them up. As you can see, we've actually got some fires lit inside of their ship, and that's going pretty well. So they want to hail me and surrender in exchange for their lives, but their offer's not that great. They've got quite a few missiles, and missiles are generally valued at about 6 scrap each, so that's 36 plus 8. That's not horrible, but I'm not really using missiles right now, so it's kind of a dead currency, so I'm not going to accept their surrender. I'm just going to straight up blow up their ship and be like, dirty rebels, scum, prepare to die. So they're running to the med bay, they're trying to stay alive, and bam! No more dirty rebels. So as we can see, the net result of this was I didn't actually get as much equivalent gain as if I had accepted their surrender, but I do have more raw scrap, which is what I'm interested in right now, as opposed to missiles. We got a distress beacon. These are usually bad stuff, but distress beacons are guaranteed something, whereas whenever you make a jump, it could just be an empty sector or nobody will talk to you. So, let's see. Find the source of the distress call, a small research station. It appears at a small laboratory fire. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold, so if you hear me coughing or sneezing or vomiting phlegm at you all through the camera, then I apologize. Small lab fire got out of control, threatening to destroy the station. Their fire suppression system is not working. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and dock and try and rescue them. Pull up alongside the station, cut through their hull, able to rescue a few survivors, but most of them are lost. One of the survivors offers to join your crew and offload the rest on a nearby station. Excellent. Now we got Jones serving us. Do you have any skills, Jones? No. So we're going to go ahead and put Jones somewhere that he matters. I guess you can man the door control, but I don't know what that actually does. Sure. Jones, you'll be our doorman for now. Alright, we're going to keep jumping here. Now, it's important to be careful with your last few jumps here, because you can get into situations where you're like, oh, I'm going to explore this portion of the sector, and then you find out that there's not actually any connection to the exit, and you have to go all the way through this rebel territory to get back. So that's bad news. We're going to go ahead and jump down here. Let's see. We could go up and make it here, and then here. Alternatively, it does look like we have a jump here, so I'm going to go ahead and choose the south sector, because I feel like that'll give me the most options, and I'm feeling like south is good. So, into the south we go. Barely have time to register jump completion before your ship warns you of an incoming ship with weapons hot. So, looks like we got some pirates trying to deal with us right here, but that's no big deal. Typical, we're just going to blow up their shield system. Ooh. We did manage to get some shots in on their weapon system, but we didn't actually fully damage their shields, which is why they're still active. He just got a nice big shot from his glaive laser, or pike beam, or some kind of laser system, just annihilating my my hull here. That was pretty gross. So, in this case, it just said, alright, these guys clearly want to jump away from you. Up here, regardless of if you're manning your sensors, you'll see that the enemy FTL is either charging or delayed, or they're about to jump. But since I've got Shonji here in the sensor room and I can see what's going on, I can see that they don't have someone piloting their ship, and they're trying to put out these fires in their weapons bay and repair their shield system. So I know that I don't actually have to deal with their engines or with their piloting right now. Instead, I can continue focusing on the more important systems like shields and weapons, because they're not going to be able to jump away without a pilot. They're not even charging their FTL. So that message was a little bit deceptive, but I know better than that. Taking them down. Substantial collection of useful scrap. Nothing too interesting there. Jones and myself took a little bit of damage there, so we're going to take a quick run to the med bay. Everybody's healed, everyone goes back to their stations. We're going to go ahead and turn off the med bay and route some more power to my engines. And bam! Look, finally found a store. Let's see if we can rustle up some sweet-ass biddies. Find yourself surrounded by a group of mysterious aliens vessels. They hail you and apparently have some valuable technology for sale. What have we got? We got a crew teleporter. That's excellent for boarding the enemy ship. Drone control, which I don't really care about. And mind control, which is an interesting system, but I don't think I'm going to go for in this. I don't really plan on using drones, so we're going to go ahead and throw that away. Hull laser is specifically for blowing up the hull. It does double damage on any rooms you hit that don't have systems. I'm not terribly interested in that either. Generally, I want to focus on blowing up systems rather than the hull itself. The ion bomb is really good, and this is a very solid missile launcher, so I'm actually going to keep these in my cargo hold, but not install them quite yet. They've got some drones, which I don't care about. I don't even have this drone control system. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a crew teleporter and repair my ship and probably get a couple fuel. So, as you can see, I've got a brand new system, this lovely teleporter. We are going to go ahead and upgrade my ship's power core, or my reactor, power this bad boy, and move Chonji there. As a Mantis Man, these guys are pretty excellent. Mantis Men get some nice bonuses. They move at a 20% additional faster speed when they're just roaming around ships and stuff. They suck at repairing, but that's okay, because I don't really want to use my Mantis Men for repairing. I've got NGs and humans and stuff for that. And they deal 50% bonus damage in melee, or when they're boarding ships or dealing with boarders. So, Mantis Men are generally going to be one of the best races you can choose for boarding the enemy ship, and boarding the enemy ship is generally a pretty good tactic. So, we're going to keep Chonji chilling out in his teleporter pod. We're going to assign Jones to the sensors, and we are ready to get going. Just ahead of the rebels as we exit a Sector 1. Arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL is charged, you can go. Recognize a ship as a well-known slave trader. He hails you and offers you laborers for cheap. Well, he's a slaver, so of course we're going to attack him! Dirty pirates, always trying to peddle their slaves on me. So, we're going to go ahead and target his shield systems as per usual. Turn on some auto-fire. Shields are down, blow up some weapons. Bam. He has abandoned his piloting seat, which means things are looking pretty good for me in terms of actually hitting the ship. They no longer have any ability to evade. You have to have a pilot and your engines active in order to evade. That's where this 20% up here is coming from. We surrender! Take one of our slaves as tribute. If you destroy us, they'll die anyway. So, since I just hit a store, it'll probably be a while before I come to my next one. In that case, I am actually going to accept their offer. I'll let these dirty slavers continue their dark operations, and I'm going to get Nelis here, a fine young, whatever these dudes are called, Zoltans, to come chill out. And I think we're going to put him, let's see here. I guess if we put him in weapons, then we actually free up a little bit of energy, and he can just chill here and help out with repairs, and he's going to be kind of my backup weapons man. We've got Zaxar, who's going to be the one primarily piloting things, and then Nelis is just going to be on hand to help out with that. I definitely don't want to send him over to something like the teleport pod, because I don't want to throw him into the enemy ship since he's fragile. We've already got Johnson running the engines, and I think that's going to be fine that we keep him here. And then this special ability to power things would be particularly good in the shields, but shields take 2 power for every 1 little shield blip that you get up here, so just throwing him alone in there wouldn't do much for us. And we've got Sarcasm kind of learning the ropes over there. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next sector. Now, you have to make a total of, I believe, 8 total sectors to beat the game or reach the end of the game. And you kind of have to chart your way through this randomly designated subway map, essentially, through space. And your options are to go through green nodes, which are civilian and generally friendlier. You often find more shops here and have less, like, blatant, hey, we're pirates, we're gonna kill you, kind of events. You've got hostile sections, which are usually run by the Lanius or the Mantis Men or the rebels themselves, and you just don't want to tussle with too much people when you go there. If you jump into a hostile sector, you're going to have like combat every single time you jump. You might find a shop, you might find some general peaceful stuff, but that's going to be the bulk of it. And then these nebula sectors, you can go through. The rebel pursuit is slowed significantly when you're going through nebula sectors, but you also have to deal with natural environments, which are problems like asteroid fields, where rocks will batter your ship and blow through your shields and your hull, or you've got electronic disturbances where you lose like half your ship's power and can only use, you know, very key systems. You can't have everything online like I normally do. And yeah, so it's just kind of a trade-off between whether you're looking for shops, you're looking for a fight, or you're looking for the maximum number of jumps and you're okay with the natural environment kind of bringing you down. So, you want to not just go on whatever you need right this second, but kind of plot a course all the way to the end. In this case, I generally don't care if I go through hostile sections. I generally feel competent in combat. I'm not a huge fan of civilian sectors because they often end up with not so beneficial things, and the nebulas are a little bit wonky in my opinion. You can generally get a large number of jumps, but a lot of those jumps are often dead space where you don't actually get to do anything cool or fight anyone or gain any kind of scrap or ship bonus. So I think we'll probably kind of track along this bottom route here. That'll give us the option, we can go ahead and jump into a hostile section, and then if things go particularly poorly, we can go to a civilian section to take it easy or cool our boots, as it were. And then we've got a couple of options where we can just keep jumping through hostile territory all the way to the end, or if things are rough, we can take a kind of path of less resistance into the civilian sector. So we're going to take mostly the bottom route with a couple of jump deviations as we need to.